Here with the UFC light heavyweight champion, Johnny Bones Jones. The last time you and I spoke was actually in Jersey when you won the title, but things have changed. A lot of drama in Johnny Bones Jones' life. First things first, where's your head at? How are you feeling right now?
I feel great. I don't really think there's much drama going on. I'm really grateful for the position I am in. I'm in life right now, and I'm happy.
Traveling to Edmonton, coming to London. Talk about your little stint here in Canada.
Oh, it's been great, man. The Canadian fans are very enthusiastic. People were telling me that, MMA fighters are the second biggest athletes to them. Like in America, there's like the football team, the basketball team, and the baseball players. And like here, it's like the NHL, and then there's the UFC fighters. And that's pretty cool. So I get treated really, really cool when I come here, and I love it.
You were in Toronto for UFC 129. You got to see what Dana White talks about, the mecca of mixed martial arts is Canada. You got to see the 55,000 fans. What did you make of that whole experience in Toronto? It
was just awesome, man. It just goes to show where our sport's headed. Looking around, I felt like I was at a Super Bowl game, and it was an MMA match. It was mind-blowing. I'd be honored to fight here one day. That'd be great.
We all want to see you come back to the cage, defend the title, but it's going to be a little bit of a while. There was a talk of the hand injury, the need for surgery, and no longer. What's the latest on the hand injury?
Well, my hand is starting to heal. It's healing really fast, and right now I can do day-to-day things. I can shake a hand, I can write or do whatever. I just know that I'm not ready to jump into a training camp with it. The things that I do to get prepared for a fight, it's an all-day, everyday thing, and I just don't think my hand's ready for it yet. So when my hand's ready in a month or so, I'll start to prepare and do the things necessary for my next title fight. Right now I don't know who the title will be against. Dana's talking to Lyoto Machida, Rampage Jackson, or Rashad Evans if he wins decisively or whatnot. But I'll be ready. I'm in the business of fighting the most elite guys in the world, and that's what I'm excited to do next. Do again. So.
Before we get to those fights or those guys, because I do want to discuss each one of those guys, the first thing with the hand, can you explain to the viewers where the injury is and what needs to happen in order for you to heal soon?
Right, yeah, I don't know all the technicalities and like where exactly it's going on and whatever. Dana White has all the scans, and every doctor I've seen was doctors that Dana White told me to go see, and he scheduled every appointment that I went to and everything. But yeah, there's the way they explained that they were going to do the surgery, they were going to take a ligament that's here in my wrist, and they were going to cut that out completely, and then they were going to drill holes through this bone here, and they were going to take that ligament and string it through here and do all types of stuff. And I'm just like, no way, dude. I'm 23. I've gotten injured before. Maybe fresh out of a fight, if it feels that bad, I'll get it work done. But right now, at the rate that it's healing, I know that it's going to take about a month more before I can have the confidence that I need in my hand. But I'm gonna wait and get it taken care of, and yeah.
When you say 1 month until you're ready to go, we're talking about grip strength. We're talking about impact strength when you're throwing punches.
Right. Well, my impact isn't affected at all. The power of a punch should be, you should land here. So I don't really take much impact on my thumb when I punch. So I can punch definitely. Just the grappling is what messes with it the most. It happened throughout wrestling, and I think it happens with grappling. I remember in the Shogun fight going into, I think, the third round, I shook my hand and I really felt as if it was broken. And this was the only fight in my whole career where I got medically suspended directly after the fight. The doctor saw my hand. I was way bigger than the other hand. They had to cut my glove and everything. So yeah. And I think it's funny that people think that I would duck a fight. I train my butt off. I'm very passionate about being a hand-to-hand combatant, and I have no reason to doubt myself. I believe in my coaches. I believe in myself. And if you pay attention to who I am as an athlete, I'm big on confidence and belief. So I can't wait to shut up my critics.
And that brings me to my next point. Before you were the champion, everyone loved Johnny Bones Jones. Now that you're the champion, all these haters come out and all the critics come out there. Were you prepared for this ahead of time? Did you realize that, now it's part and parcel for the territory?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember, just like a few days after I won, a lot of the fighters were coming out and making statements, And a lot of interviewers, they ask, say I'm Matt Hughes. Hey, Matt Hughes, what do you think about the new champ, John Jones? He's going to tell his honest opinion. And I just gotta look at it as not them trying to offend me or anything, but they're talking about what they feel about the Bones character, and that's fine with me. I'm very comfortable with it. I do have a lot of support and a lot of people who love me, and they make it very clear to me, what they feel as if I'm doing for this sport and for their families and for a lot of things. So I'm strong, and I feel way more love than I do hate. But when you're working hard and you're trying to be the best individual you can be, people aren't happy. A lot of people aren't happy. And I'm aware of that, so I'm comfortable with it. I'm comfortable in my own skin, and I know that I'm doing the right things in life and for my family. So I could just try not to take it personal and continue to be successful.
And I know you and Melky well enough that when the haters started coming out against Melky for some of the decisions that he made, I could just imagine if you got defensive and how you felt. How are you guys dealing with that? Because there was some criticism for Melky, but it's understandable if people are doing the mathematics in terms of the surgery, whether you needed it or not, and preparing for a fight. We know Rashad's going to say what he's going to say. That's his job to do that. But at the same time, did you get worried? Did it bother you with all stuff that was being said about Melky?
No, not at all. Melky's a great manager. He's completely changed the professional side of my career. Between moving to Greg Jackson's and having Melky as a manager, I'm really set and secure with the people around me. And they're going to be my team for the rest of my career. Melky's a great guy. He's strong, man. I'm the type of guy who don't feel the need to try to prove myself to people. I do what's best for myself and my family, for Jonathan Jones, not Bones. And, it's everything's working out. We're happy. I'm happy with him, and that's all that really matters,
All right, the top of the division is absolutely, I wouldn't say it's a mess, but everyone's busy right now. First things first, Rampage Jackson, Matt Hamill. The word is if Rampage does defeat Hamill, he's probably next in line to get a shot. How do you break down that fight?
That's an interesting fight. Rampage has some extreme puncher power, but he's one-dimensional in some ways. Hamill, he can strike somewhat, but he has a very strong grappling base. So it just depends who comes with what mental attitude. So I wouldn't bet on either one of the guys. It's just going to be interesting to see.
And as you mentioned, if Sugar does have a good performance against Phil Davis, I can't believe people are discounting Phil Davis. The kid's no joke, especially with the shot at Rashad about, hey, listen, you wrestled at Michigan. So this guy's ready to go. Break down that fight for us, because there's two wrestlers, and potentially Rashad's the better striker.
Yeah, I think Rashad could be the better striker. I think Phil Davis is using his kicks a little bit more. And Rashad uses his hands a little bit more. But I don't know who's going to win the fight. Rashad seems more focused on fighting me right now, so I hope he's not looking past Phil Davis, because he could end up losing to a rookie. I'm a rookie too, but Phil's really new to the game. So that's Rashad's choice to focus on what he wants to focus on. But either way, it'll be a great blueprint for me to watch both of the guys compete against each other. I'm big on studying, and it'll just be more footage for me, so I'm excited.
The third fight that's on the horizon is Mercy Shogun Rua against Forrest Griffin. That's taking place in Brazil. Two former champions, two tough guys, two guys. One guy that you faced, one guy that you may have to potentially face in the future. How do you break down that rematch?
I'm definitely rooting for Shogun. I think a lot of respect was taken away from him in his last fight, and that's just a part of the game, especially because it's a spectator sport and everyone's going to voice their opinions. So I'm rooting for Shogun. I want him to come back and to prove to himself and his fans that he still has it, and it was just a bad matchup for him or whatnot. But although I'm rooting for Shogun, I can see Forrest Griffin pulling it off again. And the style to defeat Shogun is to not respect him and to come right at him and just throw what you have at him. And that's what Forrest does, which is a bad matchup for Shogun stylistically. So who knows what's going to happen? It's MMA.
I was just going to say it's MMA, and the one dark horse in the picture is Lyoto Machida, although he is coming off a spectacular victory versus the natural Randy Couture. That's the one name people are looking at on the calendar and saying, wait, this guy doesn't have a fight. Is this the guy for John Bones Jones? He may or may not be. How do you stack up against the guy that's got this incredible karate, the enigma, the guy that sometimes cannot be figured out? How do you match up against a guy like that?
I think everyone can be figured out. I can be figured out. We all can be figured out. It's just it matters on the level of how deep do you want to dig in? Like, how bad do you want it? How much will you study? And that's important. That's something that I embrace. Studying. So right now my sights are on Lyoto, but if that's the fight that I get offered, then my life will be based around Lyoto. So I respect him a lot. He has great karate, a very unique style. I draw from his style a lot. I watch him fight all the time. But I'm excited. Like I said, in the business of fighting against the most elite combatants in the world, and I'm very proud of that. So, whoever it may be, my job is to be ready and to defend myself.
And as you said, another 30 days to go, perhaps, until you actually get back into training. So another 30 days of doing all these.
I'm training now.
Yes.
I'm always training. There's things, a lot of things I can do, like jogging or shin conditioning or just notes or keeping a diary on combat, studying your potential opponents, shadow boxing, working on just body fluidity. So martial arts, it's a day-to-day thing. It's not when the lights and cameras are on.
And that's what I was trying to get at, is the lights and cameras. I mean, Johnny Bones Jones is everywhere. You never know where this guy's going to be at any one point in time. When is this going to stop? When the Malky and the guys are going to say, that's it, you're done, you are now training for your fight? Talking about another 30 days to another month or so?
Yeah,
or 2 months?
Yeah, I don't really know. We don't have a fight schedule right now. And, a big part of success is it's a lot more than just showing up in the octagon for 15 minutes twice a year or 3 times a year. It's about marketability. It's about meeting new fans, new connections, new contacts.
Twitter bonuses?
I don't care about Twitter bonuses. Making an impact on the world with martial arts. I have an obligation as a warrior and as a UFC athlete to promote our sport in the best light. We have a lot of work to do to make this a mainstream sport. And me being a young champion, that's a part of my obligation, and that's something I'm very real with. So I love it. I love coming here to Canada. I love traveling and meeting new people and new experiences and growing as an athlete and as a person. It's all a part of the journey. So. We'll know when to stop.
And in closing, as a new father myself, I'm looking for the little Jones little girls. Where are they? Because every time I see you, there's somewhere running around. What's going on?
Yeah, my girls are at home with mom, and yeah, they're doing well.
They're watching Dancing with the Stars?
Probably. Oh, you caught that on Twitter, didn't you? Yes. I enjoyed it. Christy Alley, she's doing well. I'm pulling for her. She's 60. You got to vote for her.
She's doing pretty good for 60.
Yeah, and she's slimming down big time. I'm really proud of her.
You gonna be on that show one day? Because I know you got Suave, bro. You got Suave.
Listen, I got some moves here. Would you guys like to see a little something?
Get her done?
Nah, Showdown. Nah.
Come on, you give me so much love outside. Showdown's here. There you go. Thank you. Listen, thank you much for your time. Get back to what you're doing.
Thank you, guys. Always a pleasure.
There he is, the UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, Johnny Bones Jones.